On today's episode, we're going to talk about controversial issues, satellite deployment, and night launching.
Ooh,
Yeah.
sounds exciting.
Yes. This is End of Mission, the podcast where we talk about space missions that have ended. I'm Paul, the pressure-fed astronaut, and who are you?
I'm Face of Sarcasm. I'm here.
You're right there.
Yeah, I made it.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about STS-8.
Okay, is this the actual 8th launch?
That it is.
Oh, good.
And as you can see in this picture, right, we got the patch, got the main picture. What do you think is interesting about this mission?
It has a black man.
Yes. First African American. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
I'm just going to start with, we'll go back to 1953. Okay, kind of set this scene.
All right.
So EC Comics publishes this comic called Judgment Day, where an astronaut in the year 2019 from the Galactic Alliance goes to a planet inhabited by robots to see if they want to join and can join the Galactic Alliance. To his dismay, despite all the technological progress, all the things they can do, the robots discriminate against each other based on the outer shells they have.
The robots are racist.
Yes.
Wow.
And yeah, so the astronaut says, you guys have good technology, but you discriminate. We don't do that here in the Galactic Alliance. I'll come back at some point, see if you fixed this. The astronaut climbs into his rocket ship and heads back to Earth. On the very last panel, the last panel of it, the astronaut takes off his helmet, revealing the big twist. The astronaut is a black man.
Wow.
Not to get too political, but race is not exactly the best thing that's happened in the United States. We've had our issues with it historically.
Yeah.
And, well, again, this comic was written in 1953. Jim Crow was in full swing. The civil rights movement was, still a few years away. So, we're not here to litigate history. We're not here to turn into, here's why American history's, got some issues with it, but this is how we're going to couch this episode and this mission.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the Apollo program, right? Today's July 20th. That's when we're recording this. It's the anniversary of the moon landing. You'll notice something interesting about all the people who went to the moon and walked on the moon.
They're white men?
They're all white guys.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be very clear, though. Buzz Aldrin, he was a Catholic. So, right, there's some diversity, okay? And I think Ed Mitchell was a crystal weirdo. So, we got some diversity. That's the diversity, okay?
Finally.
Right. There's a song that came out around this time called Whitey on the Moon, which was, here's all these social problems going on in the United States, but don't worry, Whitey's on the moon. Right? There's a white guy on the moon. I'm not going to endorse all the ideas and messages of it, but that kind of captures the feeling of some people.
Yeah.
Certain demographics, right? Sure, we have all these things, but yeah, you're on the moon. Obviously, this doesn't, what's the phrase? Doesn't denigrate the moon landings. We're not here to be one of those weird people. It's like, I don't care about it because it's white men doing it. But, moving forward, probably shouldn't just be white guys.
Yeah, because who's been selected for Artemis 2?
We'll get to there at the end.
Okay.
So, the shuttle program is the first NASA space program after the civil rights era. And after everyone goes, hey, discrimination's wrong. And, it's not just white guys that can do things.
Apparently.
Yeah. So we should allow more minorities and women into the astronaut corps.
Yeah.
So the first class, the 35 new guys, which we've seen quite a lot of because I do a lot of early shuttle missions, these will be some of the first non-white male astronauts. And we saw one last year with Sally Ride on STS-7. A woman.
Yeah.
Now, the Soviets also did break some racial barriers in their Intercosmos program, so I guess this puts new meaning to space race.
Okay.
That's a terrible joke. What's your Twitter handle so we can direct all complaints to you?
Nope.
At Pantsless Madman. All your hate comments towards me. Again, don't be weird about this subject. Our purview is more technical, but hey, interacts with real people. Real people have things.
Yeah. I mean, as a blanket statement, you can't change the past, but we can, improve the future.
We can learn from it. That's the stance I've always taken about history. History is something to be learned from.
Yeah.
Unless it disagrees with me politically, then no, that never happened.
Of course.
Yeah. So, the first actual African-American astronaut is Robert H. Lawrence Jr. This guy right here. There he is. He was born October 2nd, 1935, and he actually died on December 8th, 1967. He's from Chicago.
Oh.
So he's an Air Force test pilot and chemist who went to Ohio State.
Ooh.
Lawrence was an accomplished Air Force test pilot selected as part of MOL. This is Manned Orbiting Laboratory.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Oh yeah, it's really. We'll do an episode next year on it.
Okay.
And he was part of Astronaut Group 3 in 1967. Now, obviously, MOL never flew, but MOL guys did fly on the shuttle. Now, Lawrence was killed when his F-104 crashed. He was he was training another pilot because again, he's a really good pilot, and the guy in front of him ejected at the right time, but the F-104 I think was banking as it was crashing, so it just killed. Yeah, he didn't make it. Yeah,
that sucks.
But here's the thing, though. Had he not died and stuck with the program, he would have probably flown as one of the early NASA astronauts because I think this guy and this guy ended up in the shuttle program. And most of the MOL guys did because that was the deal they got. Because they joined NASA in 1968 and NASA says, yeah, the Apollo program's not going to last long. You're not going to fly, okay? But here's the deal. Stick with us until 1977. You'll get to fly the shuttle. You'll be the first shuttle pilots. Bob Crippen, the pilot of STS-1, MOL guy.
Ah,
okay. So had Lawrence survived and stuck with the program, he probably would have been the first African-American astronaut, at least in the shuttle program.
Dang.
So the actual first African descendant person to actually fly is Arnando Tamayo Mendez, which I have pronounced wrong. I don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
He was born January 29th, 1942, and he's from Baracoa, Cuba. He's Cuban.
Oh.
So he was a MiG-15 pilot, and eventually would become a legislator in the Cuban government. So he was the son of African immigrants and selected to fly on Soyuz 38 in 1978. He would spend a week, 20 hours, 43 minutes on space on Salyut 6, performing experiments on sucrose crystallization.
What's also all the crystals?
Because crystallization on Earth works differently because you have gravity influencing it, right?
Right.
But in space, you don't.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many tests dedicated to that we've talked about.
There's going to be so many more.
Oh, great.
Also, this technically makes him the first Latin American in space because he's from Cuba. Also, so this is Salyut 6, by the way. This is what the inside looks like.
Okay, a little more spacious than the Soyuz capsule.
I think you could fit Salyut in the payload bay of the shuttle.
Okay.
Look at all those cassette tapes, though. That's the first thing I was looking at. All these cassette tapes.
Got to bring up my entire collection of Johnny Cash.
Exactly. So these are the actual first guy to do it. And he's still alive. He didn't die in a plane crash.
That's fortunate.
And his spacesuit is in Havana, which is a place you and I cannot go to.
Great.
Because of the embargo.
Yay.
So here's the crew of our mission. Because we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
Our commander is Richard Dick Truly. That is a name.
Dick Truly.
Yep. He was born November 12th, 1937, and he died earlier this year on February 27th, 2024. Gee. He's from... Oh, I just remembered something.
Yeah?
So the guy who selected with Robert Lawrence, I think it was this guy, because he actually flew on the shuttle. He joked with the press corps, because they announced the MOL crew, and he said, and they asked him, you're working with an African American, is that that weird in any way? And he said, oh, I mean he's gonna sit in the back of the capsule? Oh, he was joking, by the way, right? Right, but it's because at that point, you're talking 1967. At that point, civil rights movement was basically over because you had the Civil Rights Act, like 1964, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it just came right back because Dick Truly's from Fayette, Mississippi, and I remembered. Oh, right, discrimination. So Dick Truly is a Navy fighter pilot and engineer from Georgia Tech.
Okay.
He's from MOL Group 1. See what I said, right?
Mhm.
MOL guys got to fly first. And he's NASA Group 7, which is all the old MOL guys.
Got it.
So his experience, he's an MOL astronaut.
Wow.
He was the Capcom for Skylab and ASTP. He was pilot for the shuttle ALT flights. That was the flight testing of it. They jump off the 747 and fly it in. And he was a pilot on STS-2.
Okay.
This will be his last space flight.
Okay.
He's also the future NASA administrator under George H.W. Bush.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. Interesting career on his end.
Yeah.
Our pilot is Dan Brandenstein, who we just saw on STS-49. He was born January 17th, 1943. He's from Watertown, Wisconsin. He's a Navy pilot and physicist with a BS from UW River Falls. He's an astronaut Group 8, TFNGs. His experience was Capcom and support on STS-1 and 2. This is his first space flight.
Nice.
We last saw him on STS-49. We just saw him.
Yep, just saw him.
Mission Specialist 1 is Guy Bluford. He was born November 22nd, 1942. He's from Philadelphia. We also saw him at STS-39. A lot of repeats on this one.
Yeah.
He's not Air Force. Dang it.
Air Force?
Air Force.
Air Force. It's the Air Force.
I got a speech impediment. Then I got. Oh, now I'm gonna get canceled for that now too. Dang it.
The canceled episode.
Yep. So he's a TFNG, of course. This is his first flight. He worked on space station operations, RMS, shuttle systems, and Space Lab systems and experiments. Space Lab is the experiment pallet that would fly on the shuttle for later missions. He's the first African American in space. He was recruited by Nichelle Nichols.
Uhura.
Yeah, from Star Trek.
Wow.
And of course, we last saw him on STS-39. So the other two guys here, this is Ron McNair. He would fly an STS-51B, and then he would die on Challenger.
Ew.
And this is Fred Gregory. I forgot which missions he's on. But I think he's the first African-American commander of the shuttle.
Okay.
Yeah. Mission Specialist 2 is Dale Gartner. He was born November 8th, 1948, and he died February 19th, 2014. He's from Fairmont, Minnesota. He's a Navy pilot and engineer. He went to the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. This is his first flight. He was the project manager on flight software for the shuttle computers, and he was support crew for STS-4. We last saw him on STS-51A picking up satellites.
Oh, nice.
He would have also flown an STS-62A, which we should do an episode on that, because I found pictures of stacking operations for it. That was the first flight out of Vandenberg.
Oh,
Or
okay.
would have
Yeah,
been.
we should do an episode on that.
Yes, I found pictures of that. And then Mission Specialist 3 is William Thornton. He was born April 14th, 1929, and he died January 11th, 2021. He's from Faison, North Carolina. He's a physicist and doctor of medicine from UNC Chapel Hill.
Wow.
He's an Apollo astronaut. He's part of Group 6.
Whoa.
Group 6 were the scientist astronauts, almost all of them who never flew.
Oof.
He developed the first mass measuring devices for use in space.
Oh.
Yes, they still use them to this day.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Okay.
How do you measure your own weight in space, right?
You get a scale
Ask
and you
Thornton.
subtract.
He knows.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He worked on SMEAT, that's the Skylab medical experiments on the ground. He was the principal investigator for medical experiments on Skylabs 2, 3, and 4, all the Skylab flights. And he developed the shuttle treadmill.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's his thing. And other exercise equipment for use in space. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, really using the physicist and the doctor of
Yeah.
medicine. He
knows his stuff.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
This is his first of 2 space flights.
Wow.
And our orbiter for this mission is Challenger, OV-99. This is the 8th flight of the shuttle program because they're still in order at this point. This is the 3rd flight of Challenger. The previous flight of Challenger was STS-7, which we covered a year ago. So the goal on this flight is to deploy INSAT-1B and to test out the RMS with the Payload flight test article.
Okay.
Originally, they were to carry TDRS-B, but issues with the IOS, which would have been the solid motor to kick it to geostationary, had issues with it, so TDRS-B was moved to STS-51L. where it would be destroyed.
Great.
There's a lot of experiments on materials and human physiology, especially with a focus on space adaptation syndrome. You get sick in space, right? Everyone
Space
gets
sickness. Okay.
This is also the first flight to use TDRS-1, which had been deployed, I think, on STS-5 or 6.
Okay.
And that right there is a really good shot of the shuttle.
Yeah, that is spectacular.
That's a really good shot. So this is the crew. So this is the actual joke photograph of them with a cat. Because
Why do they have a cat?
well, one of the experiments will make it all make sense. Okay, we'll get there. I'm teasing you.
Okay.
This is also the joke patch they made. Because so this is Dick Truly here, right? He's already flown on the shuttle, but all these guys, the rest of them, they've never flown before, so they're all nervous, right?
Okay.
So right, I'm taking this.
Don't make me turn this space shuttle around.
Exactly. So we're going to see what's on board.
Yeah.
CFIS. That's the continuous flow electrophoresis system. We last saw it in STS-7. I bet they just left it in there.
Probably.
So CFIS on its base level is you run a fluid and there's a charge, like a magnetic field, electromagnetic field between them, and you separate things with it.
Okay.
Used a lot. That one guy you watch, who's making trying to get Doom to run on neurons.
The Thought Emporium?
Yeah, he made his own CFIS system. It's using DNA, separations, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're flying 3 cell types on this flight: pancreatic, embryonic kidney, and pituitary. Now, for the pancreatic cells, the big goal is to study insulin-producing cells in their purest form, in the hopes that they'll be able to transplant them into diabetics.
Ooh, okay. Some real Star Trek stuff.
Yeah. They're actually going to see if they can put those cells into dogs when they bring them back down, and see if they cure the dogs of diabetes, because I guess dogs can get diabetes or something like that.
Were they feeding them Mountain Dew or something?
Yeah, Rufus stuck out of the dew, man. I don't know. These are also the first living cells to be flown on CFIS.
Oh, okay.
Our next experiment is very blurry. It's the incubator cell attachment test, ICAT. Now, those embryonic kidney cells need to attach to something to not die within 24 hours after being put through CFIS. This is going to test out how they can attach them to particles for scientific work.
Okay.
I'm not a physician, so I don't know the rest of this. But pretty much what they're testing out is, okay, we can make cells with electrophoresis, we can move them around. Can we attach them to things so they don't die? So we can do experiments in space with them.
Okay.
Right? That should make sense, right?
I think I read that correctly, right?
I have a picture of this. Don't worry. The results.
Okay.
Then the animal enclosure module. A future shuttle mission will be flying rats. This is here to evaluate if the rat cages work. This mission actually has 4 rats on it, and I couldn't find any pictures of them.
Ugh.
Okay, don't add. I look. That's why they're the cat.
Oh, okay, because the cat going after the rat. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So this thing's got lights. It's got food, water, disco ball in there somewhere, right? You can listen to their tunes, maybe some good books.
It's got some Netflix in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What shows would rats like on Netflix?
Ratatouille.
That's
Good
true.
show, Ratatouille. Just on loop.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, only the Soviets had flown rats in space before.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't do anything with
I guess not. Guess we weren't interested. I don't know.
Huh. Until now.
Yeah, now we are. There's so many things we got to do first now. First rats in space. Soviets beat us. Gosh.
First bees in space.
We got them.
Yeah.
So the next one is biophysical effects of spaceflight studies. It's physiology experiments. I wonder who's running those.
Someone, I don't know.
Yeah, some guy. And then the student experiment SE81-1 is biofeedback. It's a physiology experiment.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about what's on the shuttle and in the payload bay. So these are advanced, flexible, reusable surface insulation blankets. So you don't have to use tiles. They're testing those out on different spots on the shuttle to see how they behave.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get to the payload bay.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is some of the best diagrams of the shuttle I've seen, too, by the way. This user's guide kit thing that we use for all these. Look at all that.
Yeah.
Just a few things. We're gonna go from back to front.
Okay.
Okay? You good? Ready?
Yep.
You buckled up?
I'm strapped in.
Good. So, the first thing we have is INSAT-1B. It's an Indian geostationary satellite with 12 transponders in the C and S bands. It's capable of supporting 8,000 two-way long-distance phone circuits, unless you freak them, I guess. 1,200 voice/data channels, and 2 TV channels.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically, you can make satellite phone calls with us.
Yes, it's a communications satellite
Oh, wow.
India. The first one was launched on a Delta, and it broke. So it also contains the very high resolution radiometer. It's a meteorology experiment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so it's going to go to 74 degrees east over India.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this is the spacecraft in construction.
Nice.
This is built-
a lot of gold foil.
Yeah, it's built by Ford Aerospace.
Ford has an aerospace division?
I think it's all Boeing now.
Okay.
So I think it was Ford, then it was bought out by Hughes, and Hughes was bought out by Ford. Not Ford. Boeing.
They bought it back?
Yeah. Revenge. I just can't speak today. First disco fever back in the ISE-3, now this?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So then we have the payload flight test article. It's an aluminum, lead ballasted structure that weighs 8,500 pounds, 3.8 metric tons. It's meant to simulate real payloads, and they're to use the RMS to pick it up and swing it around.
Kind of see how the actual payloads would behave.
Yep, because it's a development milestone for deploying LDEF, which we last saw in STS-41C.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, so or STS-13 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So we have the development flight instrumentation palette. So these were originally meant on the earlier shuttle flights, just to put like avionics, right, to see, it's like test equipment to see if the shuttle's actually working or not.
Okay.
Now that the shuttle's operational, you don't need that anymore.
Right. It works.
Yeah, it works. But they still keep it on there because, so on board are 260,000 postal covers.
Postal covers.
Like postcards, basically.
Okay.
And so they'll be flown on board and then sold by USPS after the flight.
Oh. Okay.
You can actually find them on eBay for like $3.
Really?
I'll show you after this.
Okay.
But there are,
we gotta pick up a couple of those, you know?
yeah, we do. There's a few that fly on different shuttle missions, don't worry. So there's 2 actual experiments on top of the DFI. One is evaluation of oxygen interaction with materials. So there's a pallet with materials, and then upper atmospheric oxygen is going to hit them, and they're going to see what happens.
Okay.
Yep. And the second one is the high-capacity heat pipe experiment. So this provides an in-orbit demonstration of the thermal performance of a high-capacity heat pipe meant for future spacecraft.
Okay.
And I know what you're asking. What's a heat pipe?
Yeah. Do they pump heat through it?
Yes. So on one side, so this side is hot. This is H. This side's cold. And inside is a liquid crystal. And what they use is phase transition of those crystals to move heat from here to here.
So Star Trek crystals again.
Yes. It's kind of like using ice, right? The ice melts, so it takes the heat away. It's kind of that.
Okay.
I don't do thermo.
It's some flavor of heat transfer with crystals.
Yeah. Satellite antennas use these a lot because it's easier to move heat around with them.
Really?
Yeah. So these things here are strips of liquid crystals that will change color based on the temperature they're at to see how well it performs in space.
Okay. So it's a visual indicator.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll see this more when we get to the actual images from the flight.
Okay.
So there's 4 useful gas cans on this mission. There's 12 on board, but 8 of them have postal covers.
Gotta get that mail.
Yeah. All these packages. Gosh.
This is what happens to your packages, by the way. They get put on the shuttle.
Yeah. Why has my package been delayed? Launch got canceled, lady. I don't know what to tell ya.
Would you prefer FedEx? We could just drop kick it in front of your door.
Yeah. So the first one that's not pictured here is the cosmic ray upset experiment called Crux.
Ooh.
So it seeks to resolve questions involved with high energy particles interacting with computer memory.
Because, like the cosmic rays basically like switching the transistors from on to off, or open to closed.
So the goal is to see if cosmic rays, if they have any impact on electromagnetic interference, noise on supply lines, voltage dropouts, things like that.
Okay.
The next one, G347, that's this one pictured here, last flown on STS-8, is the ultraviolet sensitive emulsion experiment. Pretty much what they're seeing is, does the space shuttle payload bay influence film for future space lab telescopes?
Oh, okay, yeah. So they can like develop them properly.
Yeah. Does it mess with them in any way?
Okay.
Then we have the Japanese snow crystal experiment.
What's with all the? There's so many crystals.
There's a lot of there's slinging a lot of crystal on this thing. Okay. So this one actually previously flew on STS-6, but the can end plate was much colder than expected. So what they have now is a heater. So what they're doing is they're taking water on one end, and they're heating it up to make water vapor, and then putting it into the can, and they're going to see if it can make snow crystals in microgravity. And hopefully, you'll be able to see them in front of the TV camera.
Okay.
You will. It's really cool.
Ooh, okay.
And
so
then
try and make it snow in space.
Yes.
Nice.
The next one is the contamination monitor package. So it's got these four little nodes here made of certain materials. So we got carbon, uncoated, and osmium. And to see how the surface temperature reacts to it.
Okay.
With atmospheric oxygen flux.
All right.
That's what that is.
Basically, you see how much it rusts.
Yeah, it's about temperature and coating levels. I have a diagram at the end of how it looks.
Okay.
Also, this is the schedule of what the astronauts are doing, which you can't read.
That's a very nice Gantt chart.
Yeah, as you can see, they're doing,
Yeah. I mean, just look at it. Right?
Yeah,
you can see that they're doing.
Maybe that's why we're not astronauts, because we can't read this. It's like a color
If only we
blindness
could
test.
read this, then we could go to space.
Yeah. All right. So let's get ready for the launch. Okay. So stacking begins on June 3rd, 1983. The rollout is on August 2nd, 1983. So it takes about 2 months to stack the shuttle.
Okay.
Now, the original launch date is planned for August 4th, but it's delayed to the 20th to test out TDRS-1 before the launch.
Okay.
On the 25th, Hurricane Barry hits Kennedy Space Center. Challenger, on the pad, rides out the storm.
Nice.
Yeah. Just like SLS did back in September 2022. That was 2 years ago now.
Almost 3.
Well, when this comes out, it'll be 2.
You mean 3?
No, it'll be 2 because it's 2022.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Here I am stuck
I'm
in
losing the years.
See, here I am stuck in the 1970s with my space disco, and
I'm stuck in 2023, I guess.
I don't know. So the actual launch is on August 30th at 2:32 in the morning.
Ugh.
This
Don't
mission
wake me up that early.
This mission launches in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Oh, that's cool.
It was actually delayed by 17 minutes due to this. This is the first.
Keeps getting struck by lightning. We don't understand.
What's going on? Hey guys, have any of you heard of Apollo 12 by any chance?
Yeah, that one was fine. Don't worry about it.
Where's SCE to aux? Where's that button?
Yeah.
So this is the first night launch of the space shuttle. And there's actually concerns over, could the astronauts see things in the cabin?
I mean, they just need to go up, right?
Yeah. And, well, as we'll see in the picture coming up, and as we saw with Artemis 1, you don't need night vision. The SRB's light. You don't need night vision. Now, one of the things that was discovered in September after the SRBs was recovered is there's unexpected erosion on the left SRB nozzle.
Oh.
They had about 14 seconds left of firing before the nozzle would have fallen off.
Oh.
Whoops.
That's not great.
Now, luckily, it was because the resin was bad, and not because the design had a fault in it, like the O-rings or something.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
That would be really bad. This actually delays STS-9 because the nozzle almost fell off. You don't want that to happen. That's bad.
It's not supposed to do that. That's not part of the mission plan.
Yeah. So this launch also has the lowest tile impacts until STS-74. There's only 7 major impacts on the tiles.
Stuff hitting the tiles?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that happens during launch?
Apparently, yes. This is the lowest impact. There's 7 major impacts. There's 36 minor impacts.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the orbit that Challenger enters is 356 by 348 kilometers, which is 222 miles up at 28.5 degrees, due east out of the Cape.
Got it.
During this mission, there are issues with the thermostat and an abnormal amount of dust in the cabin. We will count dust. Yes. All space missions will always do dust.
Yes. There's so much dust to count.
Exactly. So, of course, here's the crew walking out, the welding shack.
Yeah. They didn't think to maybe, I don't know, build something that's a little bit more glamorous for being an astronaut?
I guess not. The funniest thing is we find the video of this, they get into an RV. It's the shuttle. It's like a Winnebago, too. Sure, why not, guys? Let's crack open a few cold ones before we get on there, Gotta wake myself up in the morning.
Very prestigious.
And just note, it's raining when they're walking out. It's raining.
It was raining horribly on Thursday.
It was raining this morning for me.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, on the left, here's a picture of lightning striking near the shuttle before the launch. And then, of course, on the right, you see you don't need night vision goggles.
That is honest. That is genuinely one of the coolest images I've ever seen.
Yeah. The interesting thing here, too, is Guy Bluford's wife has night blindness. So she had to actually get help going up. There's a spot on top of mission control that astronaut families get to go to. In case something goes wrong, you don't want the families to be, in the public.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she had to be led up there for night. It's like night blindness. She can't see at night, apparently.
I mean, it is dark, but...
Yeah, but it's like a specific thing that's wrong with their retinas. They can't, even at night, they can't see, low-level light, apparently.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it disqualifies some people from driving at night for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I can't see.
Yeah, but look at that.
That is incredible.
Yeah. You don't need night vision goggles or anything like that. Yeah. Turn the engines on, you'll be fine. So here's some mission photos. There's not much exciting things that are going on this mission, okay? Mm-hmm. That's the truth of it. The exciting part is, hey, first African American.
Yeah.
Woo. So as you can see, payload bay doors are opening, and you can see the experiment pallets there. So here is our heat pipe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's our pallets for materials getting roasted by atomic oxygen.
Cool.
And we have the PFTA here. And if you look closely, you can see gas cans throughout the payload bay.
They're more towards the front, right?
They're kind of spread out. Yeah.
Okay.
They're in pairs of twos along the way. Mm-hmm. So you can see 2 of them here, there, and there's 2. There's 4 behind the PFTA, in between it, and then after that is 4 more.
Okay.
So this is deployment of INSAT. There it goes. There's its Star 48 kick motor. It's going to go to geostationary orbit.
Goodbye. Farewell.
So this is the PFTA. So again, some of the maneuvers they're going to do, they're going to pick it up, they're going to swing it around, they're going to fire some of the thrusters while they're holding on to it. Right? Looks like they're doing a workout, okay, just got to work these muscles,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get swole.
Yeah, then putting the shuttle through an actual workout.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, shake this thing down, okay? The shake weight. Remember those?
I remember those.
Yeah, everyone remembers those. So here it is being lifted up and out. You can see it's got all the different crosshairs so you can know where it is, so you can track it.
Yep.
Here it is being, lifted, moved around.
Doing the workout.
Yep. Doing its reps, right?
Yeah.
So here's more crew photos. So here's Thornton tossing Guy purple. And there's Cephas, of course.
Yep.
And something is happening that's really funny that we can't see, but Dick Truly and Dale Gardner think is hilarious.
The best comedy is the stuff that happens off screen.
That's true. So here's Guy actually working Cephas. So he's here collecting samples up top or tweaking it. And then here he is adding samples to be run through Cephas.
Okay. So it goes up. The stuff goes up.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, if you'll notice, he has 2 watches. I don't know why.
Well, it's one for the past and one for the present, as we learned in Back to the Future.
That's true. Could be that. And William Thornton, of course, got a job at CVS, and he bought one thing there. As you can see with a really... You don't know the joke?
I guess not.
The joke is that CVS pharmacies have the longest receipts you could ever get.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he's working at CVS.
Yeah.
So that's actually a printer, right? So I think he's tracking something with his head. I don't know. It's a medical experiment. I didn't...
It's a science experiment.
Yeah. And here they are vacuuming up dust. That's actually the shuttle vacuum. They're trying to get the dust out. They actually had to wear like face masks because so below them are the lithium hydroxide canisters, right? Mm-hmm. And when they take them out to replace them, that's when they have the most dust. Oh. So they might be tied to that. So you can see pictures of them with like wearing face masks to, not breathe in this dust.
You gotta count all of it.
Yeah. Don't breathe it. Gotta count it. Count it first. Count it. This is not a very exciting mission. Like, I just want to be very clear. This is going to be short.
Yeah, you open it up and started with the chores of like, oh, gotta print my taxes and the receipt. Gotta vacuum behind the the experiments.
So here's the water spigot.
It's just okay.
Yeah, so again, the fuel cells take hydrogen and oxygen. They power the spacecraft, right? The combustion generates heat and makes all that. And it makes water as a byproduct, and they drink it.
Oh. Okay.
Same thing happened on the Apollos. NASA's been doing this forever.
Got it. So they're drinking the byproducts of the fuel cells.
Yeah, that's healthy.
Yeah. Sounds it.
And then, of course, here's the commander and Guy sleeping, slacking. And there's Thornton's treadmill.
Yeah.
There it is.
Dude, how do you think he felt using it?
I wish I hadn't made this thing. What's wrong with me?
Why did I make it like this?
All these years.
Why did nobody tell me it was like this?
Who would tell you? You're scary.
Like, I'm not that threatening. Like, come on. You tell me that it's a little bumpy. You can, like, just let me know about that.
Gosh. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, this isn't a very exciting mission. This isn't like, dust counting. This isn't satellite recovery, which is what I love. I've noticed this. It's for space missions. It's satellite recovery and repair, or space probe, weird orbital mechanics.
Yeah.
You notice that?
I've noticed that.
Once we run out of those, it's gonna be very boring. So Challenger lands at Edwards Air Force Base on September 5th. At 12:40 in the morning, this is the first night landing of the shuttle. Everyone was just mad, I guess.
Well, yeah, because I have to stay up until 12:40 in the morning to pick it up, and then I have to be back at work by 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Gotta fill out the reports,
day.
get on the T-38s, gotta fly them back. Oh, gosh. So this mission is 6 days, 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 43 seconds. Takes 98 orbits. This is also...
You can do a lot of cleaning in that time.
A lot of dust counting and exercise.
Yeah, you do a lot of exercise. You run on the treadmill, right? Oh, that's probably why the RMS was, doing the weights.
Oh yeah. Thornton, yeah.
Yeah, Thornton.
Like, come on. The shuttle's got to work too.
Yeah, gotta build its muscles as well.
Got to pump you up.
Ah.
So this is also the first night landing of the shuttle.
So the first night launch, which was spectacular, and now night landing, which is also spectacular.
Absolutely. And the footage of this landing was used in Space Camp, the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So actually, the interesting thing here is you notice that the shuttle has no running lights like airplanes do.
Yeah.
Because they would melt.
I got a great idea. Let's put a hole in the heat shield so I can put a light through it for the 5 seconds it's in front of a runway.
Yeah. So instead they use really bright xenon lights to bring it on in. Of course, they have Johnny from Airplane, right? Just unplugs them.
Yeah.
All right. So INSAT 1B enters service on August 31st at 74 degrees east and remains there until 1992. They move it to 93 east, and then it's retired in 1993. Good service, good life. We applaud it. It was replaced by INSAT 1D. Good for them.
Good job. Good job.
None of the crew actually suffer from space adaptation syndrome.
I can just imagine Thornton after that going, "Dang it! I could have had so much research."
Because actually, Dan Brandonside had a rough time in some like the vomit comet, and they were worried he'd be the guy to get sick the most, and he didn't.
So then, what's different about going into space versus the vomit comet?
No idea. Maybe it was the thrill of launching.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe it was all the lightning calmed him down.
Yeah, man, I do like thunderstorms.
Yeah, I feel at peace with this.
So you want to look at some scientific results?
Absolutely.
Who doesn't
Let's
love
go.
some science? So on the left, these are snow crystals forming in that gas can.
Yeah.
These little flecks are snow crystals. Isn't that
Making
cool?
it snow in space.
From the Japanese. Whoa!
Yeah.
The middle one. So this is data from the heat pipe. They only got half an hour of data from the heat pipe, and then it broke.
Well, how'd it break?
It wasn't the heat pipe itself, it was the data collection. It just didn't work. Again, you can see it, right? Actual flight data is the hollow ones, right? It ends there. Half an hour in, dead.
Dang it.
But they still declared it a bit of a success because, hey, right, they actually got some data that is kind of matching the curves.
Yeah.
So over here is the incubator experiment. So on the ground, you see some of the particles and particulates coming together.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flight, you see more, especially on this one.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's more bigger?
It's a bit bigger, because again, in space, they form bigger. And they grab onto things. Yeah.
Nice.
So then Cephas, these are also the human embryonic cells. So you see on the ground, they make a lot more, but they're all smaller. Whereas in space, they're a lot bigger, but there's less of them. There's more, and they're distributed out more. It's probably because of microgravity.
Yeah. I mean, it also makes sense, right? Because if they're bigger, they're taking up more material, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So you would have fewer overall, but they're bigger.
Yeah. So then the gas can that does atomic oxygen interactions, so what you see is, so the surface density of the carbon coating on it, right? The apparent, you can calculate this based off the temperature. And then you can see the temperature fluctuates, every 90 minutes or 45 minutes or so because...
For some reason.
It's on orbit. Weird, right? Kooky.
Yeah.
And then this is the atomic oxygen, one of the films that was on the DFI palette. So before it was exposed to atomic oxygen, it's all nice, it's kind of happy. After, streaked, ruined art.
It's beautiful. I mean, look at all these ghostly figures.
That is terrifying, yes.
Yeah. So that's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Who knew?
Space is damaging.
Yeah, space is damaging. Then for the rats, I did find data on them, on how much they weighed and things like that. Pretty much the same as the ones on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing too earth-shattering with them. Again, I couldn't find any pictures of them. Even Dick Truly said, "Oh yeah, we'll bring the rats to the press conference after landing so you can show them to them." No pictures. Couldn't find anything. I'm very sad. I am.
Yeah. That's not great.
Yeah, not good, folks. So then, the impact of this mission.
Yeah.
Comes in diversity. So Mae Jemison, Star Trek actor, she was in an episode of Next Generation.
Ooh.
Yep. She flew on the shuttle, I think, once, and she was directly inspired by Sally Ride and Guy Bluford's flights.
Hey, look at that.
She's the first African-American woman in space. But not the only. We've had a few. And then, of course, on the right, the first people to go back to the moon since 1972. It's a diverse group. African-American man, woman, Reed, and a Canadian.
Quite the diversity.
Quite the diversity. And that's STS-8. It's not exactly a big flashy mission. Get ready for this, okay? when we get to like the mid-90s shuttle missions, oh man, well, look at this science experiment. Oh wow, what are they doing? Oh, it's crystal growth. Wow.
Yeah, we grow crystals and we count dust.
Yeah.
And we go on this shaky treadmill that Thornton keeps yelling about.
Yeah. Are there rats on this mission? Yeah. Can we see them? No.
Why'd you hide the bees in this cabinet?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
That's where we hid the Coke. The Coca-Cola.
Yeah. That's STS-8. Not exactly a thrilling mission, but,
night launch, night landing.
Spectacular night launch. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be the thumbnail image.
It better be.
If
it's not, I will be upset.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's STS-8. The big impact is, hey, African American. Woo!
Yeah.
More people going to space, and that's good.
I mean, Thornton also does look like an evil mad scientist.
He does look a little evil in this. Yes, I will do human experiments on you. You will run on the treadmill, and I'll measure your weight afterward. Bet you don't know how to do that. I do. And to think, every other person in this picture is no longer alive.
Oh yeah.
Dale, Thornton, truly. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it happens. This mission was 40 years ago.
Ouch.
So it's not exactly... When this thing comes up, this episode will be uploaded in September, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll be the anniversary, actually, the 41st anniversary of the flight, roughly. I don't time it, okay? I don't plan this.
I mean, you have a lot of stuff happening all the time. It just happens to generally coincide.
Which is just weird. ISEE3 comes back August 10th, 2014. We're going to upload the episode August 10th, 2024.
Yeah. 10-year anniversary.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Yep. So, yep, that's STS-8. Any thoughts on that you want to contribute?
I mean, I feel like I've already done all of them. Just
a
spectacular mission, even though nothing happened.
And you know what? Boring is a lot better than, oh no, we're all gonna die. What's on fire? The rats
they
are
did
out.
have almost 14 seconds.
That is true. That's
Between,
pretty terrifying.
Yeah, when the nozzle falls off.
That would be bad.
That'd be not great. Fortunately, Challenger was never plagued by any issues ever again.
Yeah, it was the right SRB that got him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here it is in the rotating surface structure, by the way. It's all cocooned.
It's all back there.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah.
Looks like they're having a good time together, at least.
Yeah.
All right. It's a really short episode. So the next episode, we're going back to the moon.
Yes!
For the first time since the Apollo missions with Clementine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the episode. You want to play us out?
DOD.
It's a DOD mission, yes.
Ooh.
And trust me, we're going to count some dust.
Yes.
We're also going to sacrifice a lot of pixels to count dust, as you can see.
It was the great pixel shortage of
1992.
1992. Yeah, those were rough times.
Yeah. All right. More play us out?
Yep. All right. Well, until we return to the moon with Clementine, this has been End of Mission.